Them man there for the other win, but we got it last minute, man. I feel like Aguero. Long time I've been dishing out CVs. Back down, I speak to a boss. And my young bro linking these girls, 950, got make up on his Fendi top. I'm on route to a mill, on route to a mill like Heskey. In my city, man, coming for the sterling. I'm speeding like Stanley, so we might get techie. And this ain't no Benny. She pull her cup up like I said. She said she wanna go to the finals. Could she even hold the semi?
Yo, I said yo. What's going on? It's your boy E, 1/3 of the High Press Podcast, and I'm here, not with my usual co-hosts, some special friends, some special guest friends from Atlanta. My boy Dev for real, and my boy Tanner. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's good, man?
What up, E? Bro, can you realize it's
Quarantine
been
living, man.
Since we met?
What happened?
It's been almost an exact year since we first met. Since
Yeah, man.
recorded
Facts,
that first pod.
It was like this time last year we were up in, catching the Atlanta United versus Red Bulls match at Red Bulls Arena. That's where you took care of us, took us to the booth. That was the kickoff of all of this, you know what I'm saying? So much love to you. We appreciate it. It's been like a year full circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, yo, we've been kicking it together for a while, man. Full disclosure, before we start the episode, we actually recorded an entire episode on Tuesday. But I was so high that I recorded the entire episode on mute.
Yep.
So I have the video footage, but there's no audio to it. That is so on brand for us here at the High Press Podcast. We the most professional, unprofessional podcast that is out right now, and I love it. So anyway, I hollered at Devon, Tanner. I said, yo, what's up? Y'all want to come back on? They said Thursday, we lit. We here, man. Yo, so let's talk Bundesliga, man. Bundesliga's back after a 2-month hiatus.
Yeah, man. It was a beautiful thing to see. I know some people were talking about how it was hard to watch a match without fans. I don't know who those people are, man. I love seeing the beautiful game. So, players like Kai Havertz making a splash with 2 goals at Leverkusen and Josef Poulsen scoring to keep RB Leipzig from dropping all 3 points to Freiburg, and then, of course, Erling Haaland and Rafael Guerrero for BVB looking like superstars coming out and destroying Schalke, man. To me, it was just good to see the matches back. I don't know. What y'all think?
No, dude, it was just good to have sports. Like, shit, it's been nothing but
That's
reruns and shit for the last 2 months. And it's just like, this is live. This is happening. There are people actually competing. This makes me happy. Oh, goddamn. It's been it's been so long. It's been so long.
Which matches did y'all catch? Which matches did y'all end up watching?
I saw the Dortmund one, which was just depressing for Schalke because they were just terrible.
4-0, by the way.
They were just trash.
Let's talk about that match a little bit. Rafael Guerrero with the brace, Erling Haaland with the goal. Julian Brandt. Of course, as Americans, it was kind of a letdown because Gio Reyna pulled up. Yeah, Gio Reyna pulled up. Injured in pre-match warm-up, which. Not only was that a derby, but it was also the opportunity to potentially see Weston McKennie play against Gio Reyna. So that was kind of a letdown. But Torgan Hazard looked good, Julian Brandt looked good. Like Dortmund's stout, and they're going. That makes this match this weekend against Bayern Munich, the monsters of Germany, the 7-time defending champions. It makes it that much bigger. But what are your thoughts on that? Like Dortmund's running a stacked squad. Lucien Favre has no wiggle room.
Fucking Erling Haaland, bro. That kid is the truth, man. That kid is the truth. Like, he's linked with a bunch of big moves. You know what I'm saying? But it actually came out I think a couple days ago that Dortmund has a handshake agreement with his agent, fucking Mino Raiola, that he won't leave the club until I think 2022. And so I thought there was no buyout clause, but last time y'all told me it was like 63 mil.
Yeah, the rumor is it's 63 mil, but also the thing about it is if you think about that move that he made from Salzburg to Dortmund, where Dortmund is known, for bringing up youth and selling on for a higher price. I think that was the smart move, because had he made the run at Manchester United, everybody knows the Premier League is a little bit more of a physical league. I know you're still smarting over that, Tanner, but I think the move from Salzburg to Leipzig and Leipzig to Dortmund was smart for the kid.
Well, I mean, I think that he would have been successful at Man United if he would have gone in January. And I still wish he did. But the reason he didn't is because Mino Raiola knows he can get another payday if he goes to Borussia Dortmund, because they will sell him. If you go to Manchester United, that's going to be a whole lot more complicated.
Yeah, you're going to be stuck there
2 years because we're not going to want to sell him. And so, because Dortmund not they enjoy selling, but selling is a part of their business model. It's something they do exceptionally well, and it keeps them as a very competitive club. And they'll do that. Manchester United, they do sell to the Real Madrids and the Barcelonas, of course, but it's a whole lot more complicated, and they're much less of a selling club than Dortmund are, in my opinion. So,
I just think that Haaland made the right move for him, but over and above that, team is set up to challenge. I mean, if you think about it, there's nobody else that's really going to give Bayern Munich a run. Like I said, Bayern Munich is a 7-time defending league champions, so it's time for Marco Reus and Rafael Guerrero and that was the most impressive thing to me was Guerrero's
Rafael Guerrero,
finish.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know he had it in him, but he scored the brace, and like Tanner said, Schalke looked pretty bad. In another top team in Germany match, like Leipzig continues to drop points.
Leipzig are out of the title race at this point.
Yeah,
at this point. So they're like 9 points back, I think, right now.
They're like 8, something like that. Bayern's not going to drop 8 points. They're done. I mean, it's a shame for them.
Right.
I thought they were ahead of schedule, to be honest. I mean, I think second, third is probably where they still should be. Even though they have a good squad, I just feel like there's not enough of a winning culture there yet because the club's still so new. Right. But, I mean, at this point, I think the Bundesliga, you know who's winning it after this weekend, because this weekend you have Dortmund versus Bayern. And if Bayern win that game, it's a wrap. They'll be 7 points clear, and they're not dropping 7 points to Dortmund. So, right. I mean, you have, honestly, the Bundesliga, if you want not Bayern to win, then Dortmund has to win this weekend. So it's just like, damn, it sucks in a way because it's just like, because after this, if Bayern wins, it's almost like, well, if we have to stop play, you can give them the league because they were never going to lose.
Pretty much, right? Yeah, exactly. And I believe they have 7 games left, 8 games.
Yeah, 7, I think.
Something like that.
Everybody just played match week 26, and they play 34 because it's so it's actually 8, right?
7 or 8, whatever.
7 or 8.
Well, going back to Haaland real quick. Remember you guys were saying that it was a good move for him. He actually talked about why he didn't go to Juve. He said the reason I picked Dortmund over Juve was because Juve was going to send me to the U23s. Dortmund was going to play me in the regular team.
That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. I forgot where he said it, but I did read it, and that's what he said. He's like, the reason I chose Dortmund over Juve is because Dortmund play young kids. Juve was most likely going to send me to the U23s for a little bit.
And he's sitting on 13 goals in 11 matches or something?
Yes,
some ridiculous scoring streak like that. Like
that nigga is killing.
Yeah, it's otherworldly what he's been able to do. So when he does make his next move, ultimately, I believe probably to Real Madrid or a Barcelona or a club like that. When he makes that next move,
it's
Barcelona.
It's
gonna break. We're gonna talk about Barcelona.
It ain't gonna be Barcelona. I can tell you that much. It ain't gonna be there. They hurt, dog. Bro, let me say this right now. We can segue into that. The day Messi is gone at Barcelona, they are going to be a trash can for a minute.
Bro, it's ridiculous over there. I mean, there's recently been, a lot of financial shit going on due to this COVID shit. But when it comes to Barcelona, I forgot. Hold on, I had that shit here somewhere. I can't prepare today, guys. So supposedly La Liga says that if they don't if they don't finish the season, they could lose $1 billion. And Barcelona is actually one of the teams that's most affected. It's been coming out that they're going to have to start doing swap deals because they can't afford to pay the transfer fees.
That's wild. I mean, but we've known that Barcelona's been very ill-managed for a long time. And I'm curious, I don't know when their next club elections are going to be, but that's going to be huge for them because I think, especially considering his age, it wouldn't shock me if Gerard Piqué ran for club president or something like that because that's something
he definitely would.
I think people know that he would want something like that. But it's just like they have a lot of players that they want to bring back, like Xavi and Iniesta, and have these people working in there. I mean, the big problem for them is like if they're in such a bad financial state, and they're not in a position to win, do they sell Messi or try to sell Messi, and does Messi go along with that? Because
I mean, eventually, could you see him not going back to a big payday in another league like
that's the thing.
Inter Miami? You know?
He might want to go home or come to the MLS.
He might want to
that's
do
what I'm
whatever.
saying.
But I'm saying, if you're Barcelona, do you just look at him and go, "We need to sell you. Can you please at least let us sell you?"
Right.
Because they need the money, because they just get a shit ton of money from Messi.
That's what it is. So they reported, I believe, that they already lost over $150 million just through COVID. So they have this museum dedicated to all Barcelona stuff. Last year, that museum generated like $60 million. It's been shut down. They're not playing no games. All of their merchandising stores are shut down. People, they've already are in debt over $400 million, and some people say it might be closer to $800 million in debt. Because their fucking wage bill is ridiculous, bro. Their wage bill is ridiculous.
We talked about that in the Phantom podcast that has no sound. You know, when you're playing
podcast, yo, that's crazy. I still can't believe I did that shit.
They're paying a ton of players. I mean, people like Ousmane Dembele, who's not suiting up for them, always injured. You know. They've got a lot of players on very super high wages.
I mean, think about this, Dev. $300 million combined for Coutinho and Dembele. Coutinho doesn't play for them anymore, and Dembele doesn't play for them at all because he's hurt all the time. That's 300 million euros. Obviously, that's amortized over their contracts, but still, that is a shit ton of money every year down the drain.
Well, also because what it is it's just that, yes, they generate a lot of revenue. They made like $800 million last year, but their wage bill is like 60-something% of their revenue. It's like 69%. Real Madrid is only like 52%. So they're fucking 15% higher on the wage bill, and that's why this COVID shit is killing them. They can't get 90,000 in camp now because nobody's coming to the games. So how the fuck are they gonna make any money?
Well, and that's another thing that people were saying is they forget how reliant people are on game day gate revenue. You know,
it's a lot of fucking money, man.
That seems to be the biggest holdup with the Premier League is like teams don't want to give up that game day match revenue. You know, people walking through the gate, but that's the rationale and the realization is that if you want matches to be played, you're going to have to sacrifice somewhere. Ultimately, it's fans, because the players are the ones who don't feel the most comfortable.
Well, they've already cut the players' wages by 70% at
Barcelona. Yeah, and
the players are paying for the staff at Barcelona.
Yes.
Right.
Bro, the average player at Barcelona makes $11 million. That's like the highest paid player on any other team. Their whole team, that's the average. Shit is crazy, bro. So like they're saying that instead of usually paying these 100 million transfer fees, they have to offer swaps. Like they might have to swap Dembele or dude from Juve. What's his name?
Rabiot?
No, the Serbian dude, the Croatian dude.
From Juve?
Yeah.
Pjanic. They're trying to get Pjanic on a swap deal and shit. But Fielder.
It's like now, to tell you the truth, those swap deals, that's going to happen a lot more, especially during this COVID.
It has to.
It's like it's more like a trade here. Like, you know how Wayne Rooney complained about that the U.S. could just trade players and shit? Well, to be honest with you, they're about to start doing that shit in Europe too.
We're looking at a situation at Arsenal where, we may need to make a move with Atletico Madrid to get Thomas Partey if we want to strengthen our central defensive midfield. He's got a 43 million euro release clause. We could also send him Alexander Lacazette, if that's a move, because originally he signed with Atletico Madrid, but Madrid had the transfer ban, and then Arsenal was able to come in and pip the transfer. So that's something that we're considering right now, potentially moving Aubameyang for another player. That's where somebody like an Ousmane Dembele could potentially come back to Arsenal I know Arsenal fans would scream over it, but the guy's definitely got a wealth of potential, but he's always injured, and losing Aubameyang to Barcelona would hurt and sting. But those are two big moves from my club. I'm sure that, you're wearing a Roma kit, Tanner, and one of your center backs is starring there. Do you think Smalling ends up staying at Roma?
I mean, if they can afford to pay it, that's the problem. But I mean, the thing with Smalling is that I also think that because of his form, I think he also has a second chance at Man United, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think the club's already loaned out Marcus Rojo. I think they're going to do everything they can to get rid of Phil Jones. And then really that just leaves you with some young guys. And I think that Smalling, Lindelof, Maguire, and Baye is a pretty strong core right there. But I don't know. If United can get something for him when he wants to move on, I can see him moving on. But again, I think they probably want somewhere in the 30 million euros range. And I don't know if that's something that Roma is going to be able to afford. Although Roma did just get like a new takeover, I believe. They have new ownership now.
They want Mkhitaryan from us, so let's make it happen. Let's make a deal.
He's a bum. I don't know why they want him.
He's killing it at Roma, though. I mean, it's a different league,
It's a different league. Well, speaking of Man United, they reported some losses too. They reported, I believe, a quarterly loss of like $127 million. So it's, everybody is tightening these purse straps, bro. Like, especially if these leagues don't play, that's why everybody is back in training now. Because they know they have to be at least a month running around and shit, so nobody pulls fucking hamstrings or quads. But they have to play because that TV money is too much. Like it's happening in France too. The French broadcast providers canceled their contract with the league. They said, we're not paying y'all no more until you play a fucking game.
Right. Does this affect your Jadon Sancho dreams, Tanner?
I mean, maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely unfortunate, but out of any clubs that could still afford to do anything, I think Man United are still one of those clubs, but I don't know. You don't know what the prices will be. You thought the prices would be, but the market might change. Who knows? I still think it's still the main target for the club. Whether or not they figure things out, it might be a bit more of a protracted in terms of the payments, but it still might be a nice size fee, and they could do something like that.
Well, while we're still talking about the Bundesliga, there is one big move that's rumored to be happening, and that's Timo Werner going from RB Leipzig to Liverpool. Werner has a proven track record of scoring goals in the Bundesliga. Do you see that as a big-time signing? Is that a good signing for Liverpool?
Well, I mean, if they can make the payment, it's 50 million euros. Or somewhere at least 50 million euros.
They definitely can make that
money. Well, I don't know if they can. They don't make as much money as Man United and everyone else. Yeah. So, they make
I think they're talking about selling 3 players. They're talking about selling 3 players to make it happen. Something like Gigi Wijnaldum.
Well, Gigi's gone on a free. His contract's up at the end of the season.
Well, Divock Origi, I know was included, and it was talked about being sold, and there was other potential players that they were talking about.
He kills us every time. Fuck Divock Origi.
But I mean, they'd have to clear a decent number, I think, for them to do that. I think it's a move that, from everything that I've read on The Athletic and listened to and seen in some other places, that's really Timo Werner wants to go there. Like, that's where he wants to play. He wants to play for Klopp. He likes the setup of the club and everything, but it's just, can Liverpool make that payment right now? If they can make it work financially, then it's something that's a done deal. But the thing is, can they make it work financially?
But is it also a system of, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Like, they're running that false 9 so well with Salah coming off one.
Yeah, but you also know that you potentially might lose one of them to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are very much interested in, I think, Mane for sure, and Salah probably has suitors as well. But you ideally want to keep them around, but at the same time, the potential, especially once you win the league, you would have won everything you can really at that club at that point that matters. And, I think some of those players would be okay with moving on.
I mean, the one that I think would be, you're not going to turn down Timo Werner, bro. I don't care.
No, but what I was saying is the one that would be the most affected in that would actually be Bobby Firmino, because, because Werner is much more of an upfront attacking, run at you central striker, where they run a false 9 with Firmino sitting back and letting the wings do the work. he's almost more of a poacher.
But Werner's also comfortable, I think, playing across the front three in different positions. And I also, when you think about it, whether you wanted to play them as a two together based upon their games, I think they could very much work as a two because of how they play. But also, if you find a way to fit them both on the field at the same time, whether that's by starting one out wide, because, you could start Werner out wide, but the positions he would drift into. And I still think they would score a lot of goals because of the stuff that I think Werner and Firmino would be a very profitable partnership for Liverpool.
So that's the big transfer rumor of the week out of the Bundesliga. What are the matches looking like this weekend, D?
For who?
For the Bundesliga. I know there's some big ones coming up.
Well, it's Dortmund versus Bayern, right?
Yeah, it's their Klassiker.
Well, let me see. I don't know. I gotta look it up.
We can move on while you're looking it up.
Yeah. So tomorrow.
What up, y'all? We had a little technical difficulties announcing the schedule, and by technical difficulties, I mean I was high as shit and I read the wrong games. So on Friday, today, we got Hertha versus Union Berlin. Saturday, we got Gladbach versus Leverkusen. That's a really good game. Leverkusen have been playing well. Kai Havertz has been balling, but don't sleep on Gladbach. Gladbach, we talked about them in the podcast. They got some players on them. You got Freiburg, Bremen. You got Paderborn versus Hoffenheim. Man, nobody really gives a shit about that game, right? Wolfsburg versus Dortmund. This is a game that people should definitely watch. One, because Dortmund is chasing Bayern. They're 4 points behind, and they play Bayern on Tuesday in a really, really, really big match, which will definitely have title implications. So they need to pick up 3 points from Wolfsburg. But Wolfsburg ain't no joke. Shout out to John Anthony Brooks. It's my guy. And then you got Bayern versus Frankfurt, too. Then we got Sunday, Schalke versus Augsburg. RB Leipzig versus Mainz. Leipzig need that game. Like we said, I think they're already out, but whatever, fuck it. And then the last game of the weekend is Cologne versus Dusseldorf. Then
May 26th, yeah. So there we go. We got Bayern versus Dortmund. We got Leverkusen versus Wolfsburg, which is a pretty good game. Wolfsburg is actually a lot better this year. But fucking Kai Havertz, bro. Like, we dabbled on it before, but those two headers from this weekend, he's in every transfer rumor imaginable right now. He's one of the best players in the Bundesliga.
Absolutely. Also, him too. Like, don't sleep on Moussa Diaby. Don't sleep on Jonathan Tah. Kevin Radetzky and goal. That Leverkusen team is stacked, and they're also challenging for a European spot. So look for them look for them to fight hard to try to finish third over top of Leipzig. So Leverkusen could be a team that hard charges towards the end of the season.
We also got Frankfurt versus Freiburg and Werder Bremen versus Gladbach. Gladbach has been killing it this year.
Gladbach's going to snap.
Yeah, Gladbach's been killing it. You know what I mean? Ram is in a bunch of transfer rumors as well. They said that actually Liverpool, if they lose Salah or Mane, the Ram from Gladbach is a guy that they'd be looking to replace him, and for cheap.
And isn't it also Mainz versus Leipzig? That's another one where Leipzig can't drop.
No, it's Leipzig versus Hertha. So Leipzig have to win that game.
Yeah, well, Leipzig. I think Leipzig are out of it, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Again, I think I said it earlier. If Dortmund lose this game, that's wraps. They can draw it and then just hope Bayern drop 4 points, but this is their best chance to put themselves in a great position to win the league. They've got to beat Bayern this weekend, and anything less than that.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Haaland scores a brace.
He scores a brace? I don't know, but that's a game that I will be very excited to be watching, because that's going to be that's a tasty game. I mean, that's basically like I said, your title decider, and that's good sports, and I will be very excited to watch good important sports.
Yeah, how is that for Dortmund starting off with the derby and then their Klassiker to basically come back from the Rona? Like, welcome to Gauntlet. What's up next, D?
Let's see what else we got. What were some of y'all favorite COVID stories during the quarantine and shit? Players acting naughty.
Oh man,
Kyle Walker. Of y'all favorite?
Kyle Walker was funny. You know, you can take the Spud out of Tottenham, but you can't take the Tottenham out of the Spud. You know, and the funny thing about him getting caught with a lady of the night.
Two. They were playing Monopoly, man. What are you talking about?
Bro, it was just funny
bored.
because
the
hypocrisy.
Monopoly's a fun game. It's great.
Bro, it was the hypocrisy of shooting a stay-at-home video, like literally like 5 hours before getting busted for the lady of the night, you know, to play Monopoly as ESO. I guess he didn't pass go, didn't collect.
Yeah. No, actually, I'm pretty sure he did pass go that night. I'm almost 100% sure he passed go that night. Definitely did.
But it's been even worse. Bro, it's been even worse. I mean, you know, it gets progressively worse with the social distancing stuff. You had, like, you know, Jose Mourinho and Tanguy and Ndombele and the Spurs players in a public park hosting a session and getting popped. And then, of course, you know, you have England's future and Chelsea upstanding citizen Callum Hudson-Odoi being arrested for fucking rape.
Accusations,
you know.
allegedly.
No. He was arrested for, you know.
Yes,
so that's out there. There's no. He wasn't allegedly arrested. He was arrested.
So originally they told him stay away, handle your shit. But I think he did go back to training, like either today or yesterday, maybe.
It's possible. I mean,
the club can't let him play.
Yeah, I mean, he has to get his due process. I mean, he said he didn't do it.
It doesn't matter.
Right?
As a club, you should, if he's been charged with something, clearly they have enough of a case against him, and put himself in that position in the first place. He cannot be playing. First off, the abuse he would get. Well, I guess he can't get abuse because there's no fans, but like. Still, even on the field, the abuse he might get from other players and stuff. Like
definitely bad PR too.
And it's bad PR. You'd be crucified for it on social media.
Absolutely.
Obviously, my boy Moise Kean got into a little. He threw a house party with some strippers. Yo, he's 19, 20, man. Leave him alone, man. That's my guy. Don't worry about it.
He scored one goal.
Yo, the media cannot scare him off because he wants to go back to Italy, and I don't want him to go because if he leaves, he's not coming back to Everton.
No. And that's what we all kind of touched off on was like the fact that people are going to be making these moves and a lot of these teams are going to be getting players on cut rate deals and swap deals. And do you guys feel like the transfer market as we know it is completely going to change because of coronavirus? Do you think that these massive money deals are maybe on hold for a while?
It has to. That's why I'm saying these swaps you're going to see a lot more of these. You know, like just like I said, Wayne Rooney criticized the MLS for being able to trade somebody, but you know, sometimes it's just mutually beneficial for all parties, right? Like for Americans, us, yes, we think that's normal. For Europeans, they're like, no, wait, a swap deal doesn't make any fucking sense.
I still don't think mega deals are fully going away though. Like Sancho, for instance, they're going to get 100 million euros for him one way or the other. Now, what you'll see them is possibly like amortized, like a lot of deals are done to where it'll only be, you know, 20 million every year for the next 5 years.
5 years.
But like if you're a club that they're not going to trade Jadon Sancho to anyone because they want younger players to reinvest in. So that doesn't suit their model. So you're still going to have big bucks come in. It'll just have to be structured in a way that both clubs get what's happy while also, you know, plotting out for the future, you know, what you can afford. And there's very few clubs that can afford to do deals at that end, but the clubs that can't afford to do so, they'll still try and do that. Which is why, like, I still think Jadon Sancho is possible because if it's like, look, we'll give you 100 million, but it'll just be broken up over years, which is again how a lot of transfer business is already done anyway. You know, I think that will still happen.
You think we'll see a lot more freeze too, like teams just trying to cut the wage bill on some expensive older players?
I mean, if it's expensive older players that have low of enough value to where it's just like, is there really a point? I mean, they're still going to try and get any value they can, but if they realize there is no value to be gained, then yes, I think that they will drop some players and allow players to leave for free just to get rid of those wages if that's something they're able to do.
So real quick then, speaking on you know, clubs in MLS that have gone on that model, that have brought over some elder statesmen from Europe. I've got 4 names, and I want to know if you guys think that these players could potentially be MLS bound. Let's start off with number 1, Edinson Cavani.
No, he's going to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, he's going to Atletico Madrid.
Ever. So you never and I had another name, and that was Olivier Giroud, but he also extended his contract.
He just stayed up.
He
with,
literally
with
just
Chelsea
extended today.
Y'all saw Kareem Benzema talking shit about Giroud. He said don't compare a F1 truck to a go-kart.
Right.
He's talking about him and Giroud.
Like, and he's like,
this
I'm a
Kareem
go-kart
Benzema
with
guy,
a World Cup winner's medal. I saw his response. That was Giroud's response. So okay, so here's another one. Lionel Messi. Could Lionel Messi make a splash in MLS?
I think he could play in MLS.
Yeah, of course. He would do it just
not
for
could he?
France.
Do you see him coming to MLS at
Yeah.
any point?
He definitely could, and I do think he will when he's like 38, 39, you know what I'm saying? Like, later on after he's done or whatever. Because he's going to come over here, he's going to make so much money.
And it also depends on what the status. Yeah, depending on how.
Right, exactly. And then
get back to normal. I could see him. He's only going one place. It'll be Miami, but I could see him there in the next 3 years.
All right, here's another name, Mesut Ozil. Could Mesut Ozil leave Arsenal and go to DC United?
I see him going to Turkey. I don't know why, but my gut says he goes to Turkey. I don't know why.
Speaking of DC United, somebody else that was linked DC United, Gonzalo Higuain was linked to go to DC United to play with his brother Federico, formerly of Columbus Crew. He's a player, coach, assistant type shit. Yeah. So he could come back to play with his brother. Also, I read a news thing online that said that his mother is battling cancer. So, if he plays in DC, he's a lot closer to Argentina. So he could, it's a shorter flight to go see her and all of that like that. So who knows,
I think Higuain
there's also some great hospitals there. So, and my other name was Arturo Vidal.
Vidal's going to go somewhere because Barcelona don't want to pay him his wages, and just because they got so many other central midfielders. They got, Dijon, they got the other Brazilian
Busquets.
dude.
But that's also why I was saying, is that a player that you could see making a run at a Dallas or a LA Galaxy?
I mean, if they give him the money, I would assume he would go somewhere else. I would assume he would probably rather go back to South America somewhere.
Not New York?
Maybe. $1 on the Red Bulls, I'll take that right now.
You guys won't pay him though, and you know it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but that's never gonna happen because we don't pay anybody. We're promoting from the youth team, man.
Hey, he could trot up at City.
City, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, with Major League Soccer, what's the plan right now? I'm reading things about Orlando and Disney World that they're gonna try to play the games there, but no.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, first off, you got to consider, they're talking about playing on grass fields with all of the teams in a swamp in the middle of the summer, in Orlando. I mean, it rains every day. It's 90 degrees and 90% humidity every day. You want bad soccer? Put it in Orlando on,
in fucking June and July, right? August.
I mean, seriously, man, I'm all about playing and getting, regionalized play if that's what you've got to do. You don't have to put everybody in one area. If you're in the West, you could have Vancouver and Portland and Seattle and Real Salt Lake, and the Quakes play a regional tournament. You could have Atlanta and Orlando and DC and Miami and you could have these clubs play each other in a way that would be safe, that wouldn't be all 746 MLS teams in one area, as we continue to expand the league.
Yeah, it'll be 40 teams in 10 years.
Bro,
I mean,
think about
the Pocatello, Idaho pickaxe miners are going to.
You know who I would not want to be? Someone who paid $350 million
to get into the league. Yeah.
Oh God.
Are just happening right now.
Oops.
Yeah, man. It's just it's one of those things. You've got all these clubs that are coming in. You've got all of these players. I don't think it's fair to say, hey, step away from your family for 2 months and come down to sunny Orlando.
Come to fucking Orlando, yeah.
So,
matter of fact,
fact,
hold on. Full disclosure, Dev had a jersey on that had purple on before the show. I mentioned that it possibly could look like an Orlando jersey, and he took it off.
Yeah, I was rocking an
Do you want to talk about that?
Anderlecht kit. And Tanner made a great point. He was like, "Yo, it's got 3 stars on it. You know, Orlando wouldn't know what those mean." So, you know, and I was like,
damn, Tanner, yo, you foul, bro. Come on.
And I was like, it's too close. So I decided to rock Atlético Nacional instead. Shout out to my Colombian friends.
But with Major League Soccer, to me, the major thing is if they have to play behind closed doors, do you think they're gonna play? Because Major League Soccer teams, a lot of them need that revenue at the gate.
So, yeah, it was said it was like what like 60% of their or 40% of their revenue comes from
the game.
Comes from the games. It's going to be tough, man. Like I said, a lot of the players, I was reading that Brad Guzan said that the players were, resigned to the fact that the season was going to extend into December. Which if that's the case, you're talking about an extremely short off season because MLS is already, bringing their players back mid-January for training camp. So, it's going to be tough. I think they want to get as many games in as they possibly can in front of as many people as they can. I think if they can socially distance places like Mercedes-Benz and still I think you could still get 5,000 people maybe in for a game at a place that big.
I guess. I don't know. I just don't know,
weird
bro.
Experience, man.
That shit is so big. You can have 5,000 people in there. You know what I'm saying? But like it's.
It looked like Red Bull Arena every game, so maybe
it'd look like Red Bull Arena, yeah.
You know what? You see, like, yo, we was going so well. We were going so well until the jabs started coming out of my club and shit. No, but you're right, yes. But no, the main thing is like people have to get up and go to the bathrooms and all that. So like they don't have 5,000 bathrooms. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you can't have all those people in there. So I don't think they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Or at least not anytime soon.
You can't really serve food. You can't really, because you think
drinks,
about all the prep.
They losing all that money, bro.
Yeah. You think about all the prep that goes into the game day. From the popcorn salespeople all the way up to like, the maintenance tech to make sure that the air conditioning runs in certain areas. You got to have people guard the suites. You got to have ticket takers. There's a lot that goes into a match day that I don't think people really understand. It's not just bring the people back and let them bring back sports. Like that's that's
play the game, get them done.
Yeah, it's not really done. I don't know a lot of people that would feel comfortable. Like I said, I've never missed an Atlanta United match, and I've seen them play in 5 different MLS stadiums. I wouldn't feel comfortable going to a match right now with 40,000 or 70,000 or however many it was in Mercedes-Benz.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Tanner's that millennial that's like, fuck it, bro.
Get her done, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, to me, Major League Soccer is in a little different position. One, because this country is so affected by COVID. Like we've had, a lot of people. Like I work in healthcare. I saw what it did, and it spreads very quickly. And also, the MLS TV contract is not really that big. So it's not like these other leagues in Europe where they have billion fucking dollar TV contract. MLS doesn't have that. They only get like what, 30-40 million, I think, for their TV deal?
You took the words out of my mouth. Like the Premier League's the Premier League's TV deal rivals the NFL. So you're talking about
they have to play because they don't got that money to give back. Major League Soccer could give back the $30 million that they paid, to here. Like, okay, fuck it, just take it back. We won't play until next year. That's why I'm scared. Like, I don't know if they're gonna do it.
Hey, but then Joseph comes back healthy and we wreck shop, so I'm all about it.
That's true. Y'all did buy a season, man. That's some bullshit, yo, man. But anyway. Let's get to some funny stories that came out last week. Did y'all see the fucking sex doll story from the K-League?
Yeah. So apparently, like, one of the investors or one of the owners of the team also happens to own, the factory that creates these lifelike sex dolls. This was the Korean baseball league, right?
It was the Korean soccer league. It was the K-League.
Soccer league? Okay. Yeah, they ended up putting like 6,000 of these realistic ladies of the night in in the stands, in place of people to make it look like they were.
I mean, they look like mannequins, man. How the fuck did people know that they were sex dolls? Like that
Probably when they're
was my
putting
thing.
the shirts on them, and they were just like, there's some very detailed areas of this mannequin.
You can say nipple. You can say nipples. You can say nipples, Stan.
No. I was referring. I don't know what top of the line machine this was. We don't know what all features it had. They would probably notice there's some interesting features that normally I wouldn't expect on a store mannequin, which is usually just really hard.
Yeah, right. Yes, they were a little more lifelike. Club did get fined like $80,000, I think, which doesn't sound like.
See,
that's just. You know what I'm saying?
That's just stupid. That's just stupid. You don't have fans in the stands. Like, what's wrong with it, man? I mean, like, why not have some lifelike mannequins? Whatever. I think that's petty. That's petty factor 12.
There was also a football player, I believe ex-Schalke player that actually turned up dead after 4 years. Did y'all see that shit?
I mean, he turned up alive after 4
years.
years.
No, he turned up alive.
He turned up alive. Yes.
He woke up dead.
They thought he was dead. Yeah, they thought he was dead for 4 years. And then somebody found him working in a factory in Germany, and they was like, "Bro, I thought you was dead." He's like, "Nah, I'm not."
But also, too, didn't it come out like he'd gotten lost in the Congo during like a trip down there, and like they'd stolen his passport, and he couldn't get back in, and he had to sneak across borders, and it was a pretty harrowing tale from what I remember.
Yeah, it was some wild shit.
And also that, too, like they're going after his wife for like insurance fraud for cashing in on his life insurance policy.
Well, because what happened was he said that they were in the Congo and that whatever he took his passport, but the team heard that he died in a car crash, so they printed it in the newspaper, paying homage to the dude. His wife takes that shit and says, "Look, here, give me his life insurance money," and she got like $100,000. So now the prosecutors, I think, are coming after her. That shit is crazy, bro. Like, but just imagine that. He'd be like, "What do you mean I'm dead?" "Nah, I'm here." He had to be in on it, though. Come on, son. Right? No?
I mean, he was playing professional soccer. Did he hate his life that much? Did he wanted to work in a factory?
No, but I'm saying, but like after, I don't know what happened, because he did play youth, I think, for Schalke and shit. He wasn't like at that level at the time when he left. So he could have like faked his death on some shit with his wife. Be like, "Yo, tell people I'm dead. I'm actually going to the Congo. I'll be back in Germany in a little bit. Let's collect that money. Just tell everybody I'm dead." Nah, he could have done that.
That's some out there shit. You put way too much thought into this.
This is called High Press Podcast, bro. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think about this shit. He was in on it. He was in on it because he was like, "Bro, come on." He's like, "Fuck it. I'm probably not gonna get paid. The team gonna cut me here. Let's cash in on this life insurance, and we good." I don't know, man.
Moral of the story: don't lie to your insurance company. Don't fake your own death, because eventually it will catch up to you.
Yeah, man, shit is crazy, man. So that's pretty much all I got. Do y'all got some things y'all wanna touch on before we bounce out of here?
I mean, like, it's pretty much, we've got some more matches coming up this weekend, like we've already touched on. There's been a lot of transfer rumors, like we've been talking about. I'm happy that we're talking about sports again, man. And I think that's the most important thing, is that everybody keep their mind right. Everybody keep positive. Check in on your people, and make sure to spread this podcast around, because we're all about positivity. And I'm about to go blaze up some positivity.
Hey, to the sky.
I'm about to lose some more on a FIFA Twitch stream that I'm doing.
Yes. Matter of fact, before we leave, I'm sure if they following me, they following y'all. But if not, just in case, tell the people where they can find y'all at.
All right, man. I'm at Devon for Real on Twitter. That's DEVON, the number 4 REAL. And then on Instagram, I'm at Devon, DEVON, LEWOW. That's my last name, Lowell, Devon Lowell. Much love. Appreciate you.
And then I'm at Tanner W. McLeod on all the platforms and social media, because I'm consistent. It's easy to remember, except for obvious. Well, yeah, that's it. And then Atlanta Fan TV as well on YouTube.
ATL Fan TV. Yeah, y'all know when we play Rebels, I gotta get on ATL.
Of course, bro. I cannot wait for the day you actually come down here, and then
I'm coming
we'll
to Atlanta.
Yo,
what you call it? Georgia got the shops open and everything, right? And
it's
still locked down.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
it's like the walking dumb down here, you know. Just wear a mask. Just wear your fucking
COVID everywhere. It is crazy, man.
Tell me, you work in healthcare. Let that be the sign off, man. Just wear your fucking mask.
Yeah, that's
please.
Wear a mask, man.
All right, man.
Anyway, yo,
appreciate y'all,
bro. Thank y'all both for redoing this episode. I truly appreciate it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yo, fellas, once again, holla at y'all. You already know you always got an open line with me. You ever want to come on the pod, man, let me know. We here, bro. And until next time, High Press Podcast, Eloh Stack signing out. It's your boy.
Yo, double up, man, I'm trying to add zeros. Them man there for the other win, but we got it last minute, man, I feel like a Guerrero. Long time I've been dishing out CVs, but time I speak to a boss. And my young bro linking these girls 950, got makeup on his Fendi top. I'm on route to a mill like Heskey. In my city, man, coming for the sterling, I'm feeling like Stanley, so we might get tech. And this ain't no Ben. She pull us up like I said. She said she wanna go to the finals. Could she even hold the stem? Let me talk for a minute. Trying to hit a belly with a squad. More time than the reason I was missing. Different niggas in the drip when we step that splash. What's the fault that I man went fishing? And the Gucci came straight from the Naples, Italy, big bro, looking insane. Looking insane. T just turned 23 now, trying to get a watch just to match with the chain. I couldn't wait to the end of the month, man. I had to be up, so I switched up the break. Can't really trying to blow this cake like a birthday, coming like March the 8th. And I just said I word with bro, man. He said 2 homes gonna be okay. Like we'll be back this summer. Pray to the Lord for the come out, man. You see, I got my hands on a ball Maradona. And this thing try digging for the peas. I tell her I'm broke anymore, that's seller. And this thing try digging for the peas. I tell her I'm broke anymore, that's seller. Double up, man, I'm trying to add zeros. Them man there for the other win, but we got it last minute, man, I feel like a Guerrero. Long time I've been dishing out CVs, but time I speak to a boss. And my young bro linking these girls 950, got makeup on his Fendi top. I'm on route to a mill like Heskey. In my city, man, coming for the sterling, I'm feeling like Stanley, so we might get tech. And this ain't no Ben. She pull us up like I said. She said she wanna go to the finals. Could she even hold the stem?